here's the latest cruise news with your host, the Tall Man.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Robert, a.k.a. The Tall Man. This is my lovely co-host and wife, Lisa, a.k.a. Mrs. Tall Man. Not that anyone ever calls her that. We are coming to you live right now from Tall Man Mobile, and we are glad to be here. TGIF, right?
Thank you.
And we're not shaking here. All you people up north in New York and New Jersey, good Lord.
Hope everybody's okay.
Of course, we are shaking a little bit because we're in the RV.
Yeah, we're just dancing in the RV and, a little bounce.
So what would a live show with us be if we didn't show you, of course, balcony cam? And so there you have it, guys. There is balcony. That is the Cove balcony off of the Jubilee, I think. I can't remember the Jubilee. Anyway, but we're going to be on the Firenze in just a few weeks in a Cove balcony, and so we will get you some other views.
Yes, we will.
Yes, we will. So anyway, so we're here to talk about, well, there's a lot of that going on in the industry here recently. But let's just say hello to everybody first. Don't you think we should?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good evening, everybody. Hello, Macrina. Hello, Charles. Welcome to the show. Bev, TGIF. Absolutely.
Yes.
TGIF. And Tuesday says hello, even though it's Friday. Tuesday. And Macrina, yes, pop that popcorn.
Yes.
All right. So we said hello to a few people. We do that every night before we get going. And by the way, we just, if it's your first time finding our show, please do us a favor as we get into the meat and potatoes. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe, become part of the Tall Man Clan. It is free to you. It costs you absolutely nothing, and it really does help out the channel. And we appreciate it. So what is on our mind? What is on my mind at the very least? So a lot of it is probably stuff that you've heard. I don't know if you tune in during the week to different things. But here, let me just get up my little thing right here. Where are we? All right. So most of you are probably familiar with these two people by now. Are they looking familiar to you? That is Jill and Jay Campbell. Oh, thank you again for the thumbs up, everybody. There you go. Thumbs up. Woo-hoo. Anyway, thanks for the thumbs up. So that is, again, Jill and Jay Campbell. They are, they're currently back on the NCL Dawn. Their story was very interesting. And as I'm getting into this, there's a couple stories that I heard like 5 and 6 days ago before they actually hit mainstream cruise news, if you will. Okay. I keep on going the wrong way, everybody. Sorry about that. What is that? What is that?
That was a thumbs up. Thank you.
Yeah, there we go. What just everything's all messed up tonight. Oh my good Lord. It wouldn't be a show if everything wasn't messed up. So it's just one of those days.
Do I lean or do I sit up straight?
I know. Anyway, back to Jill and Jay. So they were on the NCL Dawn. They were doing this African cruise with them, and they were on a small island. Sao Tome. They got off the ship with a bunch of other people. In their particular case, there was 8 of them on an excursion that was not booked through the cruise line. And ultimately, they did not make it back to the ship in time. In fact, they were a little bit over an hour late. The ship was still in sight. It was not at the dock. This was a tender port, and so they were tendering back and forth. And of course, they long missed the last tender. Last tender is usually about a half an hour before full departure time, all aboard. They were then an hour and a half late, if you will. Anyway, so they tried all kinds of different things to get hold of the ship. Ultimately, they got the Coast Guard to take them out there, and they wouldn't let them on the ship, which I found very interesting. And so they're stuck in this South African island. The cruise line had transferred all of their passports, not just Jill and Jay, but everyone else in that excursion, all their documents at least. That was it. No clothes, no medications, just their documents. And then it was up to them to find their way to get back to the ship. Okay, that's sort of the baseline of the story. What I find so interesting and why I didn't talk about this 6 days ago when I first heard this before it went crazy in the news was I just thought it sounded weird, right? I mean, they got on a ship, a Coast Guard vessel, and the Coast Guard takes them out to the cruise ship, and the cruise ship wouldn't let them on.
Yeah, I found that very strange as well. I mean, obviously, the ship is not going to continue to wait, especially when they're as late as they are. But when the Coast Guard
Yeah.
drops you at the door,
Yeah.
basically, I did find that very strange.
Yeah.
I really did.
I know. What kind of is that? Right? I mean, it's just I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if they missed it, I mean, that's totally up to them. But when they're delivered to the ship by the Coast Guard, I don't know. That just the whole thing bothers me. It really does.
When you're late, you're late. You're late.
Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah.
But these people went above and beyond. They used a lot of resources, and they managed to get a hold of the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard gets a hold of the ship. They take them out to the ship.
Yeah.
Should they have not let them back on?
I don't know, and I don't know if it has something to do with the passport thing. Because they have their passports.
Yeah, but they got their cruise cards.
They do have their cruise cards, but I don't know if it's like a Homeland Security type thing, where you have to be on the ship, or if you don't. I don't know either, but I would think that the Coast Guard dropping them off would have some kind of official status.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know?
Well, I mean, part of it for me is in the same breath, there was another story about a celebrity ship rescuing some people that were lost at sea.
Yes,
sort of in a
that
boat or a
same
raft.
weekend, wasn't it?
Like the same day. Or
Yeah.
they're a couple of days after, whatever
Yeah.
it was. And so that ship picked these people up out of a dinghy.
Yes.
But the NCL ship couldn't
take them from the Coast Guard.
And they belonged on the ship.
Yes.
It just doesn't make right, because there's the whole things we don't know, like, right, the ship has to slow down, maybe it has to turn a certain way so that the winds are favorable, so the seas aren't too rough when you're trying to get off. They got to open some kind of door, or I mean there's a process, right? Now, of course, we don't know what that process is, but I don't know. What do you guys think? That's why we wanted to do this live and have a conversation with you guys. I just
Yeah, if anybody out there has, if anybody out there has any insight into, procedures, when the Coast Guard gets involved, I mean, please chime in, because, inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, it makes zero sense to me. So that's what I said when I first heard the story. I'm like, okay, there's more to this story.
I agree. I don't think we've heard the whole story yet.
Well, no, I think we have now.
You think we have
it's
now?
been 4 or 5 days. They've been on, Fox News and the Today Show. I mean, this thing has gotten like massive
press. Yes,
outside of the cruise industry, if you will.
Yeah.
There's a lot of YouTubers, cruise tubers, content creators, whatever you want to call us, folks, that have talked about it from Tony on up. Okay,
Mhm.
but I'd seen this before it made the cruise news.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I didn't want to talk about it, because I'm like, there's something wrong here. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
A Coast Guard brought them to the ship. They were supposed to be on the ship. They're checked into the ship. They have their cards. Let them on.
Yeah.
The fact that they didn't let them on, I'm like, and then as the story continues to unfold, there is nothing else underlining.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still at a loss. I am.
Now, of course, it gets a little bit deeper. They do find their way to the next port. Of course, the ship can't get into the port because of rough seas. And so they then have to fly to yet another city. Now, the cruise line did pick up their airfare and expenses from the second port to the third port, because it wasn't their fault the ship couldn't get in. So NCL at least covered their expenses, but they were on their own to get to that first port. In fact, Jill and Jay, if I remember correctly from the news that I read, they paid for everybody.
I believe they did. Yeah, they had a credit card that they were freely using for everybody that was in that position with them. I don't think anybody else had a card available.
Yeah, I don't know that part of the story.
Yeah.
Other than Jill and Jay helped everybody get to their place, to include a 9th person who wasn't part of the tour. They were hospitalized. They were out doing something in this particular port of call, and maybe it had a slight heart attack or something, some health issue that forced her into the hospital, therefore missing the ship. Jill and Jay also helped facilitate this woman getting back home, which is for her California. She's in the hospital and hopefully she's getting well.
Wow.
And so there's just a lot wrapped up in the story, and it just doesn't make sense. I understand rules are rules are rules. Okay, great. You missed the boat. We're leaving. Okay, fine. But they were still there. They weren't quite gone. But yet a Coast Guard vessel ferries the people out to the ship. To me, it would be no different than a port harbor pilot getting on and off, and or, if you will, rescuing people at sea.
Yeah.
I know it's sort of a maritime thing, if you will, a seafarer's thing. You see somebody stranded at sea, you help them out, and that's what you do.
Yes.
Okay, I get that. I don't know. It just none of it makes sense to me at all. Now,
Agreed.
for me, this is a big lesson, and this is why I wanted to talk about it. For any of you that are new to cruising, all right, and this is your first time going on a ship or second time or whatever, there's a big lesson to be said here. And Lisa and I talk about this all the time. If you're going to leave the ship and go on an excursion, you absolutely 100% want to be on an excursion that is purchased through the cruise lines.
Yeah.
If they had happened to be on an excursion sponsored by the cruise lines, if you will, and there was some sort of vehicle breakdown that forced them to be late coming back to the ship would have still have been there.
Yes.
They would not have left, and or the cruise line would have facilitated all transportation to reunite you.
Yes.
Yes, the shore excursions purchased through the cruise lines are slightly more expensive. It might be a little bit more upfront cost, but how much more has it cost these people that did not purchase?
I'm thinking quite a bit.
Yeah, right?
I'm thinking quite a bit.
Which is the ultimate reason why I wanted to talk about this, because I feel there's a big lesson to be learned here outside of the head scratching, and I just don't get it. It's take, ship, sponsored, shipped, purchased cruise excursions, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, so let's see what some of you have to say about this particular subject, because I know it's a hot topic. It really is.
Yes.
And so a couple of people are coming in late, by the way. Here's Antonio. Hey, buddy, welcome.
Hey, Antonio.
Lido Life, welcome.
Hey.
Your first live show with us, I believe. Welcome.
Yes, welcome.
And enjoy the MSC Seashore. You're going on there in a couple weeks. I remember you guys. I do. Kathy,
Hi, Tom.
hello from Arizona. Lido Life says you're late. You're late. You're late. I get it. I do. And probably 99. I'm sure there's somebody that misses a cruise ship every day, right? I mean, there's pier runners every day.
Yeah.
Not all of them make it into social media, but enough of them do. There's somebody that is late and or misses a ship every single time there's a border call, every day, right?
Well,
so,
this one had the Coast Guard involved, so it's a little bit more.
There's a few more steps here, right? It wasn't just them standing at the pier crying and screaming and wanting back on the ship and getting a hold of broadcast news that the ship left them. No, they understood. They were late. They did what they had to do to get themselves to the ship. They they employed the Coast Guard to get them to the ship.
Yeah.
I think they should have let them on. I don't know. That's just me.
I agree. I mean, if the Coast Guard drops you off at the ship, you should be able to get on when you've got your sail, your cards and your room keys and your passports.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you got to let them on.
Antonio says, I don't know, but they let people that are stranded at sea on the ship. Yeah,
Yes.
I get that. Yep. Kathy P says, things that make you go,
Right?
Things that make you go, Macrina says, you know the captain and the ship story. Maybe the engines are running and the personnel are already dispatched to their other areas, and maybe an immigration with passports. I mean, it correct.
That's what I was thinking. It had to do something with immigration, or it had to have. But if you're on the Coast Guard, doesn't that qualify?
It shouldn't have anything to do with anything with immigration, because if you pick people up that are lost at sea,
well, that's true.
I mean, so it has nothing to do with immigration.
Well, that's true.
Obviously, yes. The hull is back whole again. There's no door opening, which means the people that were guarding that and security, they've all gone off to other places. However, again, somebody is at sea in a dinghy. The ship comes to a stop. The door opens. People come and get them on board.
That is true.
And so these are paying passengers who like I said, employed the Coast Guard and got their way to the ship as it was still inside of land. I think they should have let them on.
Yeah.
That's just me. That's just my opinions are. We all have them like something else. Where that comes from. And Rustica, welcome. I don't remember seeing you here before. If they let them on the ship, they would set a precedence. Anchor dropping problem. Interestingly enough, because of their bow and aft thrusters, you don't actually have to drop anchor for something as a quick person transfer. You would just shut down the main engines, glide off, and the GPS will keep you in one spot even without the anchor being dropped. Macrina says stranded at sea is an international maritime, but late for the ship is something else. Leader life, rules are rules. I agree 100%. And if it wasn't for the Coast Guard being involved and them getting themselves to the side of the vessel, they got their own tender.
Yeah, right. Oh my
in the
goodness.
form of a Coast Guard vessel. Outside of that part of the story, I would no.
Oh yeah, exactly.
We'll see you in the next city.
Yeah.
Right? In the next country, whatever.
Man.
And Macrina says if the ship opens the doors and an accident happens with them embarking, the cruise line would be liable for non-sanctioned, unsafe embarkation. I mean, that could be a thing. Remember, one of these people, believe it or not, was actually a quadriplegic. Okay, now they got them on the Coast Guard vessel. And
I'm quite sure that was not at sea, though.
No, but they ultimately got off the ship, which was at sea, to get on a tender.
That's true.
Right? So,
yeah.
Anyway, Charles says, makes no sense to me either. What's the difference between a rescue at sea or letting them on? It's like NCL had a problem with these passengers. I can't go that far. Other than, they didn't buy our shore excursions. Poo to them. Poo to them. You don't know. That's why this has really been a hot topic. Antonio says, you don't do any excursions. I'd rather stay on the ship with all the food and the drinks. I'll just watch the Discovery Channel. or us. Or your personal Discovery Channel.
Right.
Macrina says she wants to know how much they paid the Coast Guard. It doesn't sound like they would get it for free.
That's what I would think. Yeah.
Don't know. That's a good question.
It is.
Right? Same with airplanes. When the doors are closed, it's a federal law that they cannot open the doors again. Slightly different, right? I mean, it is a slightly different thing. Because again, they open it to let people stranded at sea. That's just not a viable angle. But airplanes are different. We're going to talk about airplanes in a minute too, by the way. Antonio says maybe they should have got a small boat and the ship would have picked them up. Yeah, just help us. Right?
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Little Less says people show up at the dock. The ship is 10 from said dock. They don't open the door for anything. I've actually seen them open the door back up. It's really a call by the captain, right? So if the ship is still at the dock, the gangway's been pulled in, the doors are up, they're about to leave, they're about to drop their lines, or they've even started to drop their lines. I've seen passengers run up, I've seen the door come open, and the gangway come back out again. This is 100% a captain call. Anyone buffering? Good Lord, are we buffering?
Oh, man.
I hate the B word. No B word tonight. We shouldn't be buffering. Good God, man.
No, we shouldn't.
I mean, good Lord. I'm sorry if it's buffering. Anyway, so let's move on to the next story, okay? And this is actually the first one I heard. And it's the same thing. I saw a YouTube video that was not from the cruise industry. It was like a local news broadcast. And there was these 50 people from the Minnesota area. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze, everybody. Who had flown down.
Please mute yourself. You'll scare everybody. If you've never heard him sneeze before, you don't want that in your ear from the headset.
Yeah, right? Oh, my good Lord. Anyway, so they're from Minnesota. These 50 people booked a cruise on the Carnival Horizon. It was on a 90s throwback cruise. Okay. And so they fly down to Miami. They're looking forward to it. Everybody's got their story. That's part of this group. But ultimately, where it all comes together for them is when they go to get on the ship, it turns out they have no cabins. None at all whatsoever. Now the plot thickens as they're, in the terminal at the port trying to, work this stuff out to figure out what's going on. The person who booked this for them walks by, caught red-handed, if you will, right? And she's like, I have no idea what's going on. I will get to the bottom of this. We're not leaving without you. I will be right back. This is the story the passengers, the 50, have told. This person who booked the cruise for them, this 90s throwback event, gets on the ship, and the ship leaves without the 50 people. And so ultimately, the local news in Minnesota covered this first. And they somehow got a hold of this person, the person who booked their cruise. And I wish I had her statement. I did not grab her statement, but it was filled with a bunch of weird things. Like, I booked their cabins. By the way, this was in April or late March, early April. It was early April because they just left. It was like April 1st. This was not an April Fool's joke. Maybe the 31st. I don't know. 5 or 6 days ago. I booked their cabins on February 20th, and they were canceled for some reason, so I tried to rebook them on the 21st, and it wouldn't allow me to do that. And so they're going to get a refund, and this agency has their money. She gave a third-party agency. I'm not going to name them here. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, what I do have, what is interesting is the news, local news, got a hold of a statement from these people, and this is what their statement looked like. Okay, so they booked this group cruise, music cruise, through this person, and this is what her statement looks like. Now, if you look at it closely, you'll see there's no confirmation number on there at all. That's one thing. Number two, you'll see the cruise was booked in June of last year. All right. So those are two of the big things that I want you to take a look out of this. Again, there's more lessons to be learned here. All right. So let's back up and dissect this for everybody, especially new people who don't know about these types of cruises. Cruise lines have all kinds of specialty cruises, music cruises, 80s, 90s, metal, EDM, just comedy, Comic-Con, all kinds of things. However, it's not the cruise lines 99% of the time putting this on. It is an outside events company that has purchased either the entire ship, chartered it, or a good chunk of the ship.
Yes.
Okay. And so this outside agency will be selling the tickets. Now, these tickets are typically at a higher price because it includes entertainment, right? The musicians and the bands that are on board. Okay. So if it isn't a full charter and it's a half charter, you can't go to this event if you book through the cruise lines. You got to book through these outside agencies. Okay. And so it's not weird that you would go to an outside agency. What is weird is that they paid for this thing last June, and she's now just booking their cabins in February for a late March cruise. Yeah. There's a bunch of holes in that story.
Yeah.
And
without a doubt.
You pay. They should have gotten a confirmation number immediately, and their confirmation number should have been on that document that I showed you, their receipt.
Yep.
Okay. We have used travel agents probably on 90, maybe 95% of the cruises we've ever been on, both group and non-group. We haven't done any of the music cruises, but we've done one group cruise. And once booked, when you get your confirmation, it's got your booking number on it. So again, another big lesson here. Make sure if you're going to book outside of the cruise lines, or for lack of a better term, let's call it a verified travel agent. I don't know how you can verify that. You have to make sure that your confirmation number is on your receipt.
Yes.
If it is not on your receipt, call them immediately and ask for it. If there's a song and dance about this, that, or whatever, do not accept it. Give them 20. If it's late at night and the cruise line's closed and they can't call to get the confirmation number, okay. But first thing in the morning, you best have a confirmation number. If you do not, you need to dispute that through your credit card company because it's more than likely a scam. Now, these poor people, 50 of them, airfare, hotel, time off of work. It's more than just in their case, they paid $2,800 for the two people for their cabin. I don't know what kind of cabin it was, to go on this throwback 90s music cruise. And they're stuck standing there. And of course, this person just sailed away with their money. And if you do the math, and I don't know, again, what everybody's cabins cost, but generally, if you just take the $1,400 and multiply that by 50, that is $70,000.
Yeah.
This person ran off with 70 grand.
I will say, though, before you contact your credit card company, you might want to dispute it with the travel agency, ask for a refund, because if you go straight to the credit card company, then you may have issues in the future with the cruise line accepting your credit card.
Well, you're not dealing with a cruise line, you're dealing with an outside agency.
Gotcha. Okay.
So with these type of specialty cruises, they're collecting the money, and then they are paying the cruise lines. Typically, when you go to an agent, like when we book a cruise, the agent is taking your credit card and giving your credit card to the cruise line. And you'll see that charge from whatever cruise you're on your credit card statement. Okay. In this particular case, because it's a specialty cruise where the fees are higher, they're collecting all the money, then they are paying the cruise line.
Okay.
And so your credit card is not going to say Carnival. In this case, the Carnival Horizon. It's not going to say Carnival. It's going to say whatever the agency is.
Gotcha.
Okay? And I'm purposely not talking about their name. I don't want to give them any more press than they've already gotten. And I hope I don't know if the ship is back yet, but if it is, I hope there's somebody standing there waiting to arrest her, because I feel that, just with all the evidence and of course the statement that she gave, she's taking these people's money. And in fact, I mean, just think about it. If she quote unquote booked them in February and it canceled and she couldn't get them cabins, the money should have been refunded then.
Immediately. Not
after the fact. 2, when she ran into them in the port and said, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. We're not leaving without you. But she already knew it. She knew these people weren't booked.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because she had made in her statement, she did say that she tried to call to get them on the ship like a week earlier or something like that. I don't remember exactly the timeline, but yeah.
Hang on one second. I'm gonna put this back up because give me just 1 second, because Macrina thought, let me blow this up for you guys. Okay. To your comment, Macrina says the invoice number looks like a Carnival confirmation number. Yep. It could possibly be that it looks like it, without a doubt. Invoice B01QSK. So then the questions to me go to, they had to do all their pre-boarding stuff.
Yeah. And you got to go put all your information in online.
Right. And so without the confirmation number, which none of them talked about having confirmation numbers. And so that's, to me, which further deepens the scam, that this person has, I don't want to say falsified, but used numbers that look like confirmation numbers.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I don't know. What do you all think? Scam or did this person just legitimately screw up somehow on 50?
What was the dollar amount on that? Like $70,000?
$70,000.
$70,000.
$70,000.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yep. Let's back up. So there's been a few conversations here.
Okay.
A few comments. Wow. Buffering.
No, I hate that word.
Tuesday says, it took me just one story about not using ship excursions. I didn't have to hear any more.
Yeah.
I think I became the cousin to Chicken Little. No, there's good reason. There really is good reason. And look, for every sad story, there's a million good ones, right? But you are gambling every time you do that, every single time. And especially when you're on a ship that leaves really early, it doesn't leave you wiggle room to fix a problem, right? So we use, when we go to the Caribbean, if we're going to go on, you know what? we take the cruise lines excursions. There's been a few times in the past where we'll get off the boat with another couple that we met on the boat. We'll go find, a local taxi guy or whatever and do the things that we want to do. But we've planned that we're going to be back to the ship 3 hours before, that's like the scheduled time before it's ready to leave. And so if anything happens to us, we have 3 hours to figure out how to get back to the ship.
Yeah.
Of course, and we're never horribly far away, but, far enough that we'd still need a taxi. Anyway. Achoo. Kathy says, my internet keeps going in and out, and this may already have been discussed, but as I understand it, under maritime law, seafaring captains are to render assistance to other vessels in distress. It was talked about, Kathy. It was, okay? Macrina's talking about, that travel agent screwed up. She knows. Yeah, there's no doubt. She took their money, like $70,000 of it. My bank account somehow $70,000 heavy. What's going on? I mean, 50 people. We're not talking about one. 50 people.
And she knew they didn't have reservations. She knew that there's 50 people standing there on the side of the ship waiting to get on and camp because she took their money and didn't book their cruise. And she knew in advance that she didn't book their cruises.
Yeah. Wouldn't want her to be there when she gets back to work. No. Well, I don't think she works for a big agency. If you look at the name, it's she's a private person. The interface that she uses, and again, I forget the name, but she doesn't have a TA number. To my understanding, she's using a third party type booking platform to book people. Oddly enough, I reached out to that third party booking, and they are aware of the situation, and that's all they would comment on it. But anyway, Antonio says, the old wait for me, I'll be right back trick, right? I'll be right back, I promise. Interestingly enough, your internet keeps on going up, but your comments come in twice.
Oh no.
Macrina, we did talk about that, right? The invoice number looks like the confirmation number. Tuesday says, sad is that her shenanigans put a bad taste in many mouths.
Yeah.
And the hesitation to use third-party agents when booking travel plans. Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't begin to tell you how many comments I read about how all travel agents are scam artists and this and that and blah, blah, blah. That is just absolute. Crap. That's why I titled tonight, because tonight's all about the crap. It is crap, right? Just like I was talking about before with the travel. For every bad travel agent, there's a million good ones.
Yeah.
And there are some great ones out there, and there's a lot of extra perks you get by using a travel agent.
Yeah.
Which is why we have almost exclusively used travel agents for booking all of our cruises. We get much better benefits taken care of. If there's a problem, they're handling it. You don't have to handle it. So anyway, Antonio says, I can't believe they are all first-time cruisers. Someone should have caught on, and they should have never paid in full 10 months before the cruise, right? I think they were making payments. I don't think that, here, I'm going to go back to this screen, guys. If you see monthly payment number 4. So they were making payments. So they only had $100 deposit that they paid. So they did not pay for it in full. But it doesn't matter whether you pay for it in full or not. At this point, you still get a confirmation number, right? Anyway, so Kathy P says, oh, geez, y'all are popping in now. This is the most inept TA or it's a scam survey. Says Kathy,
we're going with scam.
Screams scam all over it.
Yeah.
She knew. She was caught on the dock or in the terminal, said, I'm going to fix this and be right back. We're not leaving without you. And she never came back.
Yeah.
She knew there were not cabins. That is the statement she issued to the broadcast news that did the story on this. That I tried to book them cabins and the cruise line canceled them the next day.
Yes.
Booked them on the 20th. They were canceled on the 21st.
Yep.
This was in February.
Yeah. I think that
2
what
months
makes
ago,
I think what makes me the maddest about that is that she knew this for months, but she didn't say anything.
Sorry, wasn't going to make it through any of this without that once.
She didn't say anything to these poor people. She let them make their travel plans, and they made their way to the pier. And they were flying in from all over the place, and it never said anything.
Leader of Life says, I've been waiting at the terminal when she showed up. Yep.
For sure.
With some officers of the law.
Yes.
To have her arrested.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. These 50 people should enter into a class action lawsuit.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Antonio said, I think I missed a comment by Antonio. I believe Carnival confirmation numbers has 3 letters and 3 numbers combination. I've never really paid that much number. I just know there's 6 and they're a combination of letters and numbers. But either way, right, with the apps and everything, you know what? Forget the apps. Even back in the day, you still have pre-registration stuff you have to do since the internet has come into play. Now that it's an app, some of the cruise lines, you do it on the app. Some of it you don't. With Carnival, you don't pre-register on your app. You still do it on the computer. But anyway, the point is, and that is how I think she took advantage of these people, because they were all first-time cruisers and they just didn't know any better.
I agree.
Tony made the point that as soon as you have the confirmation number, you should log into Carnival. That's what I said.
Yes.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yes.
I mean, every time I book a cruise, I mean, I haven't gotten the confirmation email yet. I have written the confirmation down on a piece of paper. The second I hang up on the phone, sometimes actually while I'm still on the phone hanging up, I'm typing with one hand, talking on the other. I'm checking in with the cruise line to make sure that we're all there. It's all good. Because, look, we go on a lot of cruises. We spend a lot of money, of our hard-earned money. Nobody gives us anything.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's no different than you guys. A lot of people save up all year to take a vacation, sometimes several years to take a cruise vacation. It's a lot of money for a lot of people, and you're giving it all to one person, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to verify, even though we've done this for years, we use the same people every single time. We trust them. We know them.
But it's still a human that is inputting all of this information, and mistakes happen. Whether it's your name being misspelled,
correct.
Maybe it's your birth date is wrong, but any of those little things will prevent you from being able to get on the ship. So that's why you do all of your pre-registration stuff, so you can make sure that it's all correct. Yep. If you don't do that, then you're leaving yourself open for being able to get on board, or having to spend hours at the terminal trying to get everything straightened out.
And since we're talking about travel agents, that's also what a good travel agent will do for you and with you, is make sure that you're doing the things that you need to do as your cruise comes up, so that why is this? There we go. That everything is taken care of the way that it needs to be. And so, it just I don't. Just crap.
Yeah.
Crap. Boom! I don't want to see the smiley face. This is not a smiley face one. Hello, Patricia.
Hi, Patricia.
Who changed their name again online? Patricia who changed her name again?
I think so.
Was that Hazel? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. We're thinking of somebody else, I think. She did. Just like those credit cards, skimmers. Yep, probably had a duplicate software. Sorry, it went away. Where'd it go? Where'd you go?
Right there.
Yep. Probably had a duplicate software to appear to be legit. Must be tech savvy. I don't know. When I was looking online, there was somebody that spoke up for her about the hundreds of people's lives that she's changed for the better, this, that, whatever. I'm like, she scammed these people. There's nothing that she has said in her statement that adds up. She couldn't even come up with a good statement. I don't think she's tech savvy. I'm just saying. Bev says, I've roamed around the world. I've roamed around in the port area and did go out of port somewhere once, but again, we were back way before time. Yeah, you were talking about not using a cruise line sponsored excursion.
Yes.
I mean, we're the same thing. If we're not taking an excursion, of course, we're going to get off. We're going to go roam around the city. Sometimes we'll walk several miles.
Yeah.
But we know the time we're supposed to be back on board, and we are back hours before that time.
Yes.
Which is what the lesson is learned here is make sure you know your departure time, and make sure you book, honestly, an excursion through the cruise lines, because that's going to be your, that's going to be your safety net.
Yeah.
We like you guys. We like you too.
Yes, we do.
Just because I got the button. And if those two stories weren't bad enough, this one to me is even worse. I don't have anything to show, so you don't have to go leaning.
I don't have to lean. Okay.
We didn't have time to set up my third or my second camera, so
I'm doing this.
When I go to my little cutaway screen, she leans away, so that isn't over her face. So, This is something actually Tony also talked about, but again, I also saw some news. I don't know how some of this news is just coming to us now. It's because we started to do the cruise news or something. But before it was mainstream news, I saw a little piece on this, and this was something from China. It was about the Genting Dream. It was about to go on a 3-day cruise over Easter weekend. And 50, it says nearly 50, but we'll just call it 50 people. 50 seems to be a common number right now.
Yeah.
They show up. They have their confirmation numbers. Everything's been great. They're all pre-checked. Everything that you should do. And oh no. It saw my hand.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I turned you off. Hey there. Oh no! Are you kidding me?
Oh, our cameras.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Hang on, everybody.
Sorry, guys.
Oh my good Lord! I am in tech hell, everybody. I am in just not having a good time here.
Every time.
We're gonna go back to the old.
There you go. Just use that one. That's fine.
Yep, but it's gonna bounce now, so we apologize. We're back on the camera, the computer camera. Since we have Hal dialed in, but that's not Hal, that's Pal.
And Pal's got a mind of his own.
Yeah. Anyway, so these 50 people show up to get on the Genting Dream in Singapore for a 3-day cruise. They have done everything right. They have their confirmation numbers. They've done all their pre-boarding. Everything is great. They get there and the cruise line says, "Oh, we're sorry. We're overbooked. You can't get on the ship." What?
Yeah.
What kind of is that?
A big steamy pile.
Overbooked?
Yeah.
This isn't a plane.
No.
There's not, 6 other flights leaving in the next, 3 hours that you can put somebody on. This is a vacation. Though a ship is your transportation to your port of calls, a cruise ship isn't really transportation like a plane would be that commonly overbooks themselves. And it turns out, the more I look into this isn't an isolated incident. With Genting, it's happened multiple times. And I do remember reading something not so long ago. This actually happened once on a Royal Caribbean ship. And
I did hear about that. As a matter of fact, when you told me about that, that was my first comment was it Royal?
No. And they caught a bunch of crap. So, I mean, the cruise lines spout off all kinds of technical garbage. We're running an algorithm because there's so many people that blah, 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 and we want to make sure we're sailing full for profitability. But I mean, they have their standard, corporate jargon to answer something like this. But in the end, these people didn't get to go on their vacation, which is just absolute crap. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to unplug. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Of course, I unplugged the wrong thing.
Of course.
That's all right. I'm going to
unplug that camera.
I'm going to reset the camera, guys. There we go. Just got to unplug it and replug it. So now they were all, offered not a refund, but to rebook another cruise, and they can all have better cabins. That was sort of the trade-off of what is, jeez, everything is just going nuts, guys. Woo! So there we go.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, so that's the one thing about a live show when the technology goes crazy, which is even for us, it's like times 100, because we're not sitting in a YouTube studio like most of these people that have their stuff set up all the time, and they come and sit in a chair and turn everything, and it go. We're in an RV, and so everything that we use has to be set up, tested every single time, and I'm not lying to you, it works differently every single time. I can plug it all in exactly the same way, take pictures, write it down, and it doesn't work. So then I have to.
Yeah. And today was especially frustrating for him.
It's perfect for today's show. Oh, my good Lord. Let's see. Are we back? Let's see if we're back on the regular cam here, guys. Because that's a so much better look. There we are. There you go.
All right.
We're back.
Yeah, the
All
color
right.
does look much better, doesn't it?
It does. Anyway, so and of course the cruise line said, and they all accepted the options or whatever. It's not like they had a choice.
Yeah.
You're not letting them on the ship. And so I don't know how you feel, but I promise you, if I had waited a year and booked a cruise, paid good money for that cruise,
Taking time off from work.
taking time off from work, right? Flew into a city,
Yeah.
right? Have my vacation all set, right? Spent thousands of dollars on this, and fly in and transportation, maybe the hotel the night before, and get there and they said, oh, confirmation number, everything's right, and said, oh, I'm sorry, we're overbooked. I'm probably myself going to end up being arrested by the end of the day because I'm going to lose it in the port.
You would probably have told me back. He is the more tactful one. Trust me, I am not tactful. When I'm not happy, everybody knows.
I just, thank you. We appreciate that for the.
Yes, we do.
We need some applause today. Yeah. So I just the industry has to be careful, right? Because if these kind of things continue to occur, people are going to start to run their mouths.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about us, but the people that this happens to. And they're going to start calling their congressmen and their senators and their this and that. And before you know it, there's going to be government oversight mandates for things like this.
Yeah.
And I promise you, the cruise lines don't want the government crawling into their business.
No.
And so I know they don't want to sell empty. So you do what traditionally has been done. You run a sale.
Yes.
It's 3 weeks before sailing and the ship isn't full. Run a sale.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of over on a holiday weekend, an Easter weekend cruise for these people. I'm literally, I would, that would be, I would be on somebody's video right now.
You and me both.
Kicking and screaming as they drag me out in cuffs.
Yeah, you and me both.
I would literally be losing it if I had paid money for a cruise and I get there and they said it's overbooked. Yeah. Again, I get it on a plane, but interestingly enough, I've never been bumped from a plane.
No, they always ask.
Yeah, right. We are overbooked. Does anybody right? So when the airline's selling tickets, when you go and book plane tickets, I don't know if you know this or not, depending on what you're booking, it's pretty simple. If you choose not to take a seat, you are running the risk of not having a seat at all. We always choose a fare that allows us to pick a seat. I actually do that because of my vertigo. I got inside anyway, but we always choose a seat. Now it costs a couple dollars more. But typically, those are the people that end up, when they get there, there are no seats for them because they're overbooked. Okay? Those who already have assigned seats, they get on the plane. So I'm sure you've all heard it. If you've been at the gate at the airport, we're overbooked. We're offering $250, $300, $400, $500, $600. The dollar amounts go all over the place. Honestly, you could walk up and name your price.
Probably could.
Yeah. Yep. I'll take $500 in a hotel and some food vouchers. And they'll be like, here you go.
Yeah.
And then you get a free flight. Okay? But, it's asked for, right? It's not just you don't have a seat, right? If you had, like in this particular case, they had a confirmation number, they had a cabin number, they had a cabin. I mean, it's all done. Oh, I'm sorry. They literally put 2 people in that cabin. I want to know, how does their booking system allow them to book 2 people in the same cabin?
Yeah, true.
How does that happen?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Like if you go yourself right now on any U.S. or Carnival, Royal, Celebrity, name them, Disney, whatever, and you go look, the cabins, you pick a cabin. If you're picking a cabin, I mean, there's obviously guarantees, and maybe that's how it's happening. Is people are just picking guarantees.
Maybe so.
And there's 50 people with guarantees.
That would make sense.
But you're guaranteed to have a cabin.
Yeah.
Not guaranteed to be left at the side of the ship.
Right.
Right? Because who knows when I can come back.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Antonio says she deserves the Poopsicle Award.
Yes,
she does.
Right.
Poopsicle for her.
Yes.
Maria. I think that's her first name. Lito says, we get an email confirmation from Carnival. Yeah. I mean, we get our confirmation from the cruise line, and we get an email from Carnival, whatever ship we do. I mean, we get both. But I said, I'm not even waiting for that. I've already written the confirmation number down, like I told you. I'm already online. Back in the day, it's a little bit different now. But Princess is still the same. We just booked a Princess cruise, which we've already told you about. We're doing the Frenzy, then a back-to-back on the Seascape, and then the 10-day on the Emerald Princess. With Princess, I was able to do all my pre-registration like immediately, seconds after I booked. And that used to be the same way across the industry.
Yeah, it did.
Post-COVID, now there's this timing. Like with Carnival, it's 2 weeks. With MSC, it's 1 month. All the cruise lines are different.
Yeah.
But with Princess, the second I booked, it's a paid in full cruise. It's once your cruise is paid in full, boom, I just fully registered. I did it. I'm hanging up the phone. I'm in there typing, right?
Yeah.
You think I'm crazy? Nope. La Chinita 30. Hey, we haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah.
How did no one request confirmation numbers to check up on their cruise? Like, no one thought about checking in? It's kind of crazy. She's a total scammer. Yep, I hope the police are waiting for you.
Same.
I agree 100%.
Same.
100%. Hi, all. Welcome. Better late than never. Appreciate you being here, Mamie Radar.
Absolutely.
Antonio says, you start talking about China and your camera starts acting up.
Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way.
You and Danny Mac think a lot alike.
I know.
Speaking of which, where is that man?
Yeah,
where
we
are
haven't
you, Danny?
seen Danny. We haven't seen Little One-on-One.
we
We
saw
haven't
Little
seen
One-on-One.
Justine. Well, yeah, Little One-on-One, but that was, today.
Yeah, Tuesday said Hal wanted to be Lisa to be center stage. This is not Hal. This is Pal.
That's Pal.
Pal is the nicer version. We've got Hal, Sal, and Pal.
Yes.
We have 3 though. We actually can't hook up all 3.
No, only 2 at a time.
And
That's another one of our challenges.
Half of them I can't get the 2 of them up and running. Lido Life has a question. Says, we put a credit card on our online check-in with MSC. We understand that we have to activate your sign and sail card with a credit card on the ship. That is correct.
Yes.
So, Lido Life, this is how it works. And I don't know why, but your credit card that you put on file, it means nothing. It does not translate onto the ship.
No.
And so on the seashore, there are kiosks. I think it's deck 6, 7, and 8.
I believe, yeah.
And they're all centered around the center of the ship. And you basically just go scan your card, your room card, your sign and sail card, whatever you want to call it. And then you're going to scan your credit card and then tell it it's either for all passengers in your cabin or just one or whatever. And then you're done. Now, if you do not do that, trust me, they send notices to your cabin. They're on the intercom. They talk about it
all
multiple
the time.
times.
They do.
Okay? Daily.
Yes.
Right? Daily. And inevitably, someone is not going to do it. And what's going to happen, they're going to be standing right in front of you when you're trying to leave the ship. You will not be able to leave the ship until you get that taken care of.
Ask us how we know.
Yeah. So we know 2 different ways. The first time was I did, the very first cruise we were on, I did register my card.
Mm-hmm.
And I was about 99.999% sure I clicked the button for all passengers in the cabin. So I scan my card as we're, doing during embarkation or debarkation.
Debarkation, yeah.
And then I turn around and Lisa's not behind me. And,
Nope.
and she's like, And so they made her get out of line. And I'm like, I did this.
You did it for you, but not for me.
But I checked the button. Somehow I didn't check the button. So they let me back in to help her do her thing. And then we left. So that happened to us on our first one.
Yeah.
On the last one that we just got off, the young girl in front of us, 2 of the people in their party did it, but she didn't. And she just stood there holding up the line because she didn't understand.
Yeah.
And we're just standing there. It was probably 5 minutes.
It was a while.
It wasn't ridiculous, guys, but it just was like, they've probably said this no less than 30 times in the past 4 days. And then there was the notice they put in your cabin. Anyway, but yeah, you have to get out and go to the kiosks. So they're generally in the middle of the ship. They look like ATM machines.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's really simple. It's not complicated. But yes, if you're sailing on MSC, you have to yourself do not go to customer service.
Yeah.
They are not going to do it for you.
Nope.
They're going to send you to the kiosk. So get on the ship, have your welcome cocktail, go put your credit card in the machine, and you're done.
And make sure every passenger's covered.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Macrina says, yeah, if they overbooked, they do have two family payments. We'll be refunding someone, but the cabin is sold, and the line doesn't refund money when the sale date is upcoming.
You lost your little fuzzy thing.
I lost my fuzzy thing.
Yes, and now you're all staticky.
Yeah, sorry. I'm staticky because
You're rubbing your eye.
Yeah. So if somebody's talking about you, your nose is itchy. If somebody's cussing about you, your eyes are itchy. So I'm obviously upsetting somebody, and I apologize. But
they're just talking about me.
But this is a big load of. Anyway, Macrina, I'm sorry, we're not following you. But cruise lines should not be overbooking.
No.
Cabins. I don't know how their systems allow them to do that.
Yeah.
There's only so many cabins.
Which cruise line was that again?
This was called Genting. It is a Chinese cruise company. This was the Genting Dream, which they've just recently actually taken over from another cruise line that went bankrupt. But it's part of the Genting family. They've been around for a while.
Okay.
But this is not the first time this has happened. This has happened a couple times, and maybe the people in China are a little more forgiving. I don't know. But there are others than Chinese people who go on their cruise ships. We've looked at the possibility of taking one of the Genting ships before, right? And so I promise you, I'd be in a Chinese prison somewhere if I had flown halfway across the world to find out my cabin has been resold to somebody else because they're overbooked. That's just a bunch of crap. So there you have it. So enough of the crap for a minute. We have something to celebrate tonight. Does anybody at all have any idea what we're celebrating? Does anybody know? Somebody's got to know out there. Right? If you think you know what we're celebrating, leave a comment below. And we're just, I'll play some music. That's not the music.
You know what? You're going to be playing for a while, though, because the B word has been really affecting us here.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You see how far behind we are?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, we're really far behind. Holy mackerel.
Actually, hang on, because let's see if that helps.
We're not that far back because Leader Life just said, and you're welcome. All right, so the music back on.
Okay, turn it back on then.
I don't have Jeopardy music, so this is the
Tall Man.
The Tall Man version of the Jeopardy music.
Yeah, there you go.
Somebody's got to know.
Right?
Come on. We know you're out there. There's 12 of you watching. Somebody's got to know how special this day is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done waiting. Oh, well, the music's over. There's. All right. Well, okay. You ready?
Okay.
No, of course I can't because we're not ready. Ready? Here we go. Today, we are 1 year old.
Yay!
Oh, God.
Yay!
All right, enough of that. Today is our anniversary. This channel is officially 1 year old.
Yes.
And so that is the other reason why we decided to come on and stream tonight. We scheduled this, a week ago. This is the night we're going to come on because it's our birthday.
Yes.
We are 1 year old. Look what we've done in 1 year on this channel. Is that crazy?
I know. We've made a lot of friends.
We have.
Yeah.
right? And we have new friends.
We do.
Little Life is new to the Tall Man Clan, and we welcome them. And there's so many other new people out there. By the way, if you are new and you haven't done it yet, make sure you go and get on Facebook. In our group, we post different information than we do here, different videos and things, whether we're on cruises or off cruises. So make sure that you go be part of that group, because once you're part of the group, when you get on a ship, you got to take a picture at the flagpole at 9 o'clock the first night and post it up on the group.
Absolutely. We love getting those pictures.
I know. Little Life, they actually put some pictures up of them. They're longtime cruisers, been cruising since 2007, if I remember correctly. So, Claire, hey, Claire, I don't remember. Oh, this Claire. You know who that is?
Clarine?
It is.
Nice. Thank you, Clarine.
Thank you.
And welcome.
Clarine is our secret sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Clarine makes us look good when we're not trying to be live. Because Lord knows we don't do a good job of it doing it live.
No.
Hal, Sal, and Pal have their way with us.
Yes, they do. Repeatedly.
But Clarine helps me, because she doesn't do it.
Nope.
She helps me with all of the editing of our videos. And so we want to thank her very, very, very much.
Yes, we do.
You get an applause. Thank you so much. And so if you're watching a video of ours on YouTube, like the deck plans and different things, yes, we shot the video, but Clarine is the one has edited it for us. So please make sure everybody gives her a little bit of love.
Yes.
It's our birthday. You didn't know? Nobody. Where's our gifts? Somebody's. We'll even take a pile of that.
Careful what you wish for, sheesh.
Right?
We have enough of that.
What kind of birthday party? Nobody brought us gifts. Good Lord. Man. All right, on our group cruise, like a year and a half from now, drinks are all on you then. Macrina says happy birthday. Yes, thank you all so much. Oh, finally, nope. God, no. We're well past that.
Yeah, we are.
We may not look it, but we're well past that. And this should be a hint.
Oh, yeah. This right here, that's a hint. This is a hint.
Or that back there. That's the grandson.
Yes.
No new babies for us. No. We're done with that. But it was a good guess.
Yes.
Lisa's birthday? Yeah, they are buffering something fierce. No.
Yes.
No.
My birthday is actually in June. Thank you.
Yes, we'll be
on a ship.
Yeah.
I think we'll be on a ship.
Yeah, hang on.
I don't know which one.
Let me pull up the schedule. Oh, chip.
No, not that one.
Nope.
All right, let's see. Which ship will we be on?
Oh no, we won't be on a ship.
No.
Yeah, we'll be off a ship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, poo.
We'll be home for your birthday.
Well, poo.
Wow.
Poo.
Poo. Tuesday, got it. TMC anniversary.
Yay! Good job.
All right. So again, we want to thank you all from the wedding anniversary. No. It's our channel anniversary.
Yeah.
And so Lisa and I want to thank you all from the bottom of our hearts, being part of our TMC family, our family, our virtual family. Though you are not virtual, you are
extended.
somewhat extended, because
extended family.
We are chatting with you, but you're just a little camera. and what's kind of the other thing, by the way, that I like with the Facebook group is it does put faces and more personality, if you will, to the people that are part of the Tall Man Clan.
It does.
Right?
And I love seeing your posts and your pictures, because otherwise, it's just, we see your name go across there and we really have no idea. It just makes you feel, it makes us feel that much closer to you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. So
yeah.
Again, we want to thank you. We have so much further to go. So much further to go. I know Tony just hit a big milestone himself, and congratulations to them. They've been at it 7 years. And so, hopefully by 7 years, we're at the same point that they are now.
Yeah.
So, don't know. You never know what life is going to. Life is like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get. So we just never know, but we're just going to keep on plowing through.
Hey, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade.
Absolutely. Are you
Yes.
kidding me? I am the king of making lemonade. Also, reminders, we talked about it briefly like at the beginning. We are about to go on 3 cruises, so make sure that you have your calendars sort of set. We are getting on the Carnival Firenze for its inaugural with Tom. Tom was here earlier, I thought. I saw Tom.
Yeah, Tom was in here earlier.
Yep. And so we are getting, geez, every time I do that, it's such a pain in the butt. Go away. I'm trying to bring up my schedule and 14 other things. April 25th is when that leaves, right? So we'll be on the Frenzy, so make sure you're with us to cover all the goings on. We'll be broadcasting with you guys every single night from the Frenzy.
Yeah.
We get off of that, which is Frenzy leaves out of Long Beach in California. So we're going to hop on a plane, come right back to Florida, to Miami, and we're going to be doing the MSC Seascape out of Miami like the day after, right? So right away. So again, stick with us. And we're actually going to be doing it back to back on that one. It was so inexpensive.
Yeah.
We decided to do the Eastern and Western. So yeah, we're excited about that.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
And then we get off that. And again, the day after, we're getting on the Emerald Princess on May 20th. That is a 10-day Southern Caribbean. And I believe it's also out of Miami.
I think so.
Yeah,
Fort Lauderdale.
Is it Fort Lauderdale?
Pretty sure it's Fort Lauderdale.
We're hitting all the ports.
Yeah,
we're hitting all the
so.
ports. And so, in the course of a month, we're doing East Coast, West Coast, but also
Southern.
doing Eastern Caribbean, Western Caribbean, and
Southern Caribbean.
Southern Caribbean.
Yes.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Yes, so we're excited.
Yep. So,
and we're going to bring it all to you guys.
Yep, absolutely. Antonio says, congratulations. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Tuesday.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Happy first birthday, says La Chanita.
Thank you.
La Chanita, La Chanita. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Sorry. Woohoo! Congratulations. Thank you, Kathy
Yes,
P.
thank you.
I know you're the newest Tall Man Clan. Welcome.
Thank you.
Right? God, we love you. So group cruise to celebrate, right? No. I will make it a point to pick the cruise before we get on the Carnival. We will pick it, and I will do my best to get it set up. I just, because I know you guys all want to plan. It's going to be next November.
Yeah.
All right. Won't be this year. It'll be next November. Everybody have plenty of time to plan. There's no excuses that you've got this book, that book, or whatever. In November of next year, we are having a group cruise, and I expect every single one of you on there. Don't make me find you. Bev says, can't wait. She's obviously talking about it. Yep. And Lito Life says, we will definitely put our flagpole pickup on Facebook.
Yes, I love it.
Of course, that's really a Jubilee thing. They're going on the seascape.
It is, but still,
The flagpole, guys, is sort of a running joke. A lot of the people here found us. Yeah, thank you. Everybody gets a applause there for the thumbs up. There's a lot of people that found us when we were doing the Carnival Jubilee inaugural.
Yes.
And the Wi-Fi on the Carnival Jubilee is amazing.
Yeah.
Outside of the ship, right? Not just inside, but outside the ship. Like, for instance, MSC, when we're outside the ship, like on the outside parts of the decks, the Wi-Fi is not that great. So we were forced into our cabin to do all our streaming from inside the cabin. But on Carnival, we were up on deck 17 in the back of the ship, right by the flagpole, every single night. And so it just became a thing.
Yes, come take your group pictures at the flagpole.
Yep. So whoever goes on the Jubilee, first night at 9:00, the meeting place is the flagpole on the back of deck 17 on the Carnival Jubilee. So for whoever watches any of the Carnival Jubilee videos, we've said it so many times, but we haven't said it since we've gotten off.
No.
So for all the newbies out there, if you ever do go on the Carnival Jubilee, make sure you go to that flagpole, take a picture, and come post it on our Facebook group. And if you're not part of the Facebook group, there it is. Just go to Facebook and search Tall Man's Cruise Adventures. You'll find it. You have to answer the 2 questions to get in, guys.
Yeah.
I say this every time we stream. And inevitably, during the week, 3 or 4 people are getting declined.
Yeah.
Okay? It's an automatic thing. There are 2 questions you have to answer to get in. The first question is, when was your first cruise, or what was your first cruise ship?
Yeah.
If you've never been on a cruise before, just write none. It's okay. But the second one is agreeing to the rules of the group, which are simple. no spamming, and be nice.
Yeah.
That's it. There's two rules. And just say, yes, I agree. It will automatically let you in. If you don't answer them, it automatically declines you.
Yeah.
And so we want to have you all in the group. And so I hate when I get the notice that X and so is declined and X and so is declined. I'm like, just gotta answer the questions.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to, just put none and yes, and done.
And you're in.
Yeah.
You're in. Oh, my good Lord. Little, backing up. We back it up. Beep, beep, beep. Tuesday is saying thank you to Clarice.
Clarine, yes.
Hello, Clarice. Lachanita says, we cruise in 21 days on the Jubilee.
Yay!
I need to remember to take that pic.
Yes, please do. Post your picture on Facebook. Yes.
You're not allowed back in if you don't take a picture. We're kidding. But yes, take the picture. This is your reminder. Don't forget to take the picture by the flagpole.
Yes.
Lisa will do that all the time. She's like, hey, I've got to go do this. Don't forget to remind me. Okay, don't forget to go do this.
Yep.
Because I'm certainly not going to remember. Lita Life says, first MSC cruise will be on the 30th. Wedding anniversary. Oh,
yay! Happy anniversary. Yes.
Any ship flagpole or ship picture works. I know it does.
It does.
But that's just the thing with the Jubilee. It's just the thing. Yep, mine was from the Queen Mary. Yes, it was. With a panorama behind me. Yep, that's fine. Yep. And we're booked in the Queen Mary.
Yes.
Antonio says you'll be on the cruise on the Jubilee in 28 days. Oh,
yay!
So you guys are going to be.
You are. One's going to get
sails in the wind. Macrina says spam, eggs, and spam. Spam, eggs, and spam. Don't know.
Yeah, not sure.
You'll be exciting embarking and we'll be sad to be debarking. I know that's how that happens, right? Lita Life says we love doing B2Bs. Yeah, we do too.
Yeah.
We do.
Unless it's 3 and 4 days. It's just not.
Yeah. Well, we just did that on the MSC Seashore.
Yeah.
That was a back-to-back for us. We did the 4-day and the 3-day because it just takes that amount of time for us to get the footage that we want to get for you guys. It just can't happen in 3 days and or 4 days. It actually takes at least 5
or 6. Yeah.
Especially for the bigger ships.
Yes.
And so we booked a back-to-back. One was the 4-day and the 3-day. And it still was.
It was so strange. Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird. It really was weird.
It seems so short. Even though we were on the ship 7 days, it just seemed so short.
Because everything started over.
Yeah.
We had the same menu again. In the shows, I mean, all that's fine, but it just, we felt, even though it was going to be a back-to-back, that it would just feel like a 7-day cruise because we didn't change cabins, so we didn't have to pack, we didn't have to do anything. But we didn't have to get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning because we didn't have to vacate the cabin. But we still had to get up early because we still had to leave the ship.
Yeah.
And meet and all this stuff and to get off the ship. And so it wasn't like we got to completely sleep in, which sucked because we were up until like...
Yeah, we were up late.
5 or 6 o'clock in the morning shooting video for you guys. So anyway. All right. Well, we thank you all for being here with us tonight. And I know this was, unfortunately, a bit of a show. What's the last word? A show. But every once in a while, you got to talk about the... And I think it's been building up here for the past 5 or 6 days in the industry, and I hope the woman that scammed those people is held accountable.
Oh yeah.
I hope that anyone else in this world that happens to employ a Coast Guard vessel to bring you to a ship because you happen to miss it on your own accord, that they let you on board. That's just me. And 3, for gosh sakes, if you're booking one of these music cruises, make sure you have a confirmation number and it works.
Yeah.
All right. And until we see you all again, which is going to be real soon, big day in a couple days. All right. Another big day. All right. We'll see you in a couple days. Be safe.